Hello everyone and welcome to the Royal Blue YouTube channel. I'm Ian Croll and I've got your player ratings following Everton's defeat to Southampton on penalties in the Carabao Cup. Where do you start? I think we need to say it as it is. That day tonight was two of the worst teams in the league on show and they came out on top. So what does that say for Sean Dyche? Right now, Sean Dyche doesn't know how to win football matches. Right now, this team is without a doubt one of the three worst teams in the league, and that is quite scary. I don't want to hear any excuses of injuries, sickness. That team there, regardless of whether it was square pegs and round holes, should be beating Southampton. I think, funnily enough, looking at this as a whole, can we honestly pinpoint anyone in particular and say, you had a dreadful game? I think individually it wasn't that bad. Obviously, you can always ask for more, more energy, more hard work, more quality. But for me, there was no one that was like really, absolutely dreadful. For me, that really only means one thing. That is the manager. It falls on the manager, the way he sets up his team, his tactics, the messages that he's giving the players, the motivation that he's providing, his substitutions. It all falls down on the manager, and I really don't know where Sean Dyche goes from here. It's a scary thought. To the match itself then, Doucouré gets his goal. Bit of a scramble obviously from the corner. I'm not entirely sure how it ended up finding his way to him. But it got there, and Doucouré did okay today. I think he's obviously still clearly got something to offer. The Southampton goal, don't want to be too critical on individual players because, like I said, I don't think anyone individually was really poor, but I was a little bit disappointed in Roman Dixon. He just doesn't need to make that challenge in the far corner, which obviously led to the free kick and ultimately led to the goal. Felt like his inexperience showed a little bit, and obviously we were made to pay. I think then on in, it was always going to penalties despite a couple of chances. I know Lindstrom had the clear one really, which is disappointing that he didn't put away, but didn't really have any confidence in us of scoring. To the player ratings then, let me know in the comments whether you agree. I think these player ratings are pretty much based on individual performances, and like I said, I don't think anyone was really poor, to the point of like a really low score. I think it's the collective as a team and how the team is set up and how the manager wants the team to play and, stuff like that. So let's go with it then, player ratings. The goalkeeper, Virginia, wasn't really tested much other than obviously the goal that Southampton scored. Thought he looked, so small in the goal for the penalties. I've given him a 6. Roman Dixon, as mentioned, felt like his inexperience showed at times, but there's definitely more to come. I think there's definitely a decent player in there. I've given him a 6. Jake O'Brien looked calm and assured, and for me now, he goes in against Leicester, no questions asked. He gets a 6. Michael Keane, I thought as a partnership, I thought he did okay. Cleared a vital clearance away to stop us probably what was almost a certain goal, so I've given him a 6. Dwight McNeil, who started the game at left back, ended the game as a number 10. I mean, that pretty much says all you need to know about this current situation that we find ourselves in. Thought he did okay at left back, to be honest, and he is obviously more of an attacking player who wants to create chances, but I've only given him a 6. Mangala, one of the standouts for me. I think he can build on that, set a good foundation, and he can build on that without a doubt. Like I say, thought he did well. Gets a 7. Harrison Armstrong, encouraging performance from him, still young, but we can't rely on these young players to be doing everything. He gets a 6. Doucouré with the goal, obviously still letting people know he's still around, captain the team tonight. Thought he did really well. Lindstrom, I think, is a player that we're definitely going to have to be really patient with. Thought there was times where he went missing, and then there was times where he brought himself into the game. If only, someone was able to get on the end of some of those like fizzed in crosses, because he did get some crosses in, let's face it, and he did miss a big chance, which, could have won the game and put the game to bed, but he gets a 6 for me. Iliman and Dai, always feel like something could happen with him, obviously, but again, you can't just rely on one player. He can't do it all on his own, but you know, he went up top after Beto goes off and the boos ring around. I think Young comes on as well. You know, the boos say it all really. And Dyer gets a 6. I think as well, don't know what anyone else thought, but when Ndiaye and Lindstrom were quite close to each other on the pitch, when Ndiaye went up top and Lindstrom was out on the wing, I felt like they could form quite a good partnership. They linked up quite well in parts, so interesting to see how that could develop. Beto, better at holding up the ball, but you know, still not good enough, and nowhere near good enough, to be honest. And I still don't think we play to his strengths, which is quite clear. So I don't think, again, it's all on him. It's how the manager wants to play, how the manager wants to set up, and how the manager wants to attack. But Beto gets a 5. Subs who came on then, Harrison gets a 5. Young gets a 5. You know, it was obvious that he was going to miss that penalty. I know it's easy for me to say when he misses it, but everyone else's penalty was quite calm, assured, and in the corner. And Young just, you know, for a player of 39 and experience, just blasts it, and the keeper makes a pretty standard penalty save, to be honest. Iraboomum gets a 5, and that is it for the player ratings. So let me know if you agree. Disappointing that obviously Everton have gone out of the cup, but quite clearly now this season there's going to be bigger fish to fry, because Leicester around the corner, and if we don't at least pick up 1 point from that game, we are going to be heading straight into a relegation battle.